Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about learning Korean and how I started and why I started. I know there's a bajillion videos out there on YouTube of learning Korean, and I'm not going to tell you how to learn Korean. I'm just going to tell you my process and everything that I have done so far, as it has now been over 900 days of learning Korean, which is almost about 3 years. So yeah, here we go. So the first question I get asked all the time when I tell people I'm learning Korean is why? Why the Korean language? Why am I learning that? What made me want to start learning that? And well, let's be honest, the real reason, my main reason is it all started back in 2020, July of 2020, and I watched my first K-drama. Yes. That's where it really all started. And let me tell you, I started the K-drama not knowing what to expect. Like, I had assumptions of what I thought it would be like, and it was not like that. Far exceeded my expectations. Anyways, I really enjoy watching this show and listening to the speaking, and I don't know why it just like sucked me in. I've never ever had a desire to learn another language like I did with Korean. Like, I did Spanish, you know, in high school, but I didn't do it enough. Like, I thought it was kind of useless, for me at least. But I mean, now that I'm older, learning languages is very important. But the Korean language especially just drew me in, and now here I am over 900 days later, still learning Korean. So this is my process. I'm not perfect and I'm not a teacher. So like I said, it's just my process, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I always hated reading subtitles while watching movies. I don't know why, that's just how I was. So after watching my first show, I was like, I just love this language so much, and I want to speak it, and I want to learn it, and I want to watch these dramas without having to read subtitles. Am I there? No. But, you know, we're getting there. Progress, little by little. So when I first started learning, or when I first wanted to start learning, I didn't know where to even look for resources. I had a coworker at the time who was learning French on Duolingo. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna look up Duolingo and see if they have Korean, and they did. So that's where I started. I started day one on Duolingo, and I just started writing, started listening, started learning how to read the Hangul, and yeah, that's where I started. And then I discovered Talk to Me in Korean, and I just started listening to that, and then they said they had books, and I was like, books? Workbooks? This is what I need, because Duolingo, like, I'm just seeing what is on there and writing it down and like practicing over and over every day. I started with lesson 1, workbook 1, and then just from there I went on Instagram and found Instagram accounts that would have learning resources on there. I took one single class with a South Korean native, and like early in my learning days, I don't know, I was basic. Like, I could read Hanja, or not Hanja, wow, okay. I can read the Hangul and like sound it out like a kindergartner. In that lesson, the teacher instructor said he couldn't even hear my North American accent, which at the time of learning I was like, thank you, like, I'm pretty much fluent. I'm not, but at that time it was really nice. It was really encouraging because I was really trying hard. Like, I was being consistent in my learning, and so when he said he couldn't hear my accent and me pronouncing the word chair, Lisa, it was a big deal. Let's just say that. And as I started learning Korean, I noticed I had a Korean elder patients coming into my job at the time, and I knew how to say hello to them, and that was it. But I just wanted so bad to interact with them and like talk with them and learn from them. So like I would, like they'd come in and I just like, it took everything in me to summon up the courage to say hello to them, because I was like, I want to say it right, I don't want to get it wrong, I don't want to be rude, I don't want to be offensive. So they'd come in and I'd get all nervous and shaking. I'd be like, 안녕하세요. Like, and then their faces would light up, and they'd be like, oh, 안녕하세요, and they would say it back, and then they'd walk away, and I'm like, that's all I know, that's all I got. So when I started with Duolingo, I just started to like I said, copy down everything I saw, how it was written. I downloaded an app on how the actual like Korean writing, the Hangul system is written. I know there's specific ways you have to write it. So I just did that, and from there I started writing down everything that was on, like the sentences, the words, the greetings. I would just write it all down and practice it. And then I even wrote it out in the romanized version, which now I don't do that because it's really confusing to me. In the early on, I guess it kind of helped my brain to like see how it's written out in romanized version, but I don't do that anymore because, like I said, that's confusing for my brain. I had to put up the umbrella, but now my face is red under it. The sun be too blinding. Obviously, I don't know how to speak English anymore, nor do I actually know how to speak Korean. So once I discovered Talk to Me in Korean on the podcast, I would just listen to that every morning on my way to work. And they were like 15-minute podcasts, which was really nice. I was in the car for maybe like 30 minutes, 45 minutes. So I could at least listen to 2 episodes. And they were very helpful. And I realized as I was learning on Duolingo that the podcast, the learning lessons that I would be listening to on Talk to Me in Korean would coincide with it, and they would explain it more, because on Duolingo it doesn't really explain too much. It just gives you the words and vocab and stuff and like sentence patterns, but it doesn't actually teach you breakdown of why certain things mean certain things and how it's used in everyday language. So with Talk to Me in Korean, they broke it down at the time of what I was currently learning. There's a helicopter. Maybe 6 months ago, I took a test on, it could be longer than 6 months, but I took a test on the website for TT Meek, and just to test my level to see where I'm at. On TT Meek, it says I was like a level 5. And that's just what I've learned through Duolingo, through listening to the podcast. But I will tell you that I am not on workbook level 5. That's just me listening and comprehending and just applying what I know already to that test. Just because I haven't stayed consistent with the workbooks. So actually like going through the workbooks, I'm on level 2 still, but that's just me procrastinating and not using them every single day. But for like a quick recap lesson or for just a daily lesson, I always go on Duolingo just to keep my mind fresh on the language. And then there's different levels that I'm still working through on Duolingo, so I am constantly learning new vocab and learning new like sentence structures. At least every day. I gotta keep that streak going on Duolingo. One day I missed it and I had a streak freeze, and I woke up in the middle of the night like, I missed my Duolingo, but it's okay because I didn't lose my streak. Back in 2021, I actually found a local Korean church, and I am very involved in my church, so I just wanted to go and hear the Korean language in a church setting and how that would sound, and just kind of expose myself to the language more. They found out I was learning Korean, and they were all so inviting and welcoming, and then I took a few lessons there at their Korean school that they had on site. Me and my sisters did. but only took like a few short classes there, just because my schedule was conflicting and I'm in school full-time and working, so there was a lot going on, so I had to stop that specific class at that time. Hopefully, maybe, possibly in the future, I can start back up and maybe start at a bit more of an advanced level, or advanced for me. Okay, let's not be crazy. But my struggles with learning still is just how fast natives speak. That's a loud bird. Just how fast they speak. I'm still, like, my listening skills are they're there, but they're not there, you know? Like, I can listen and there's stuff I can comprehend, and I'm really proud of myself at that time. Like, I can be watching a drama and I hear the sentence and I'm like, oh my gosh, I understood that without having to look at subtitles. And then the next sentence I was like, what did they even say? Do I even know Korean? No. So listening is something that I'm still working on, and speaking. I don't have a like consistent speaking partner. Something I would like to have a consistent speaking partner. So I said I wanted to learn Korean in order to watch K-dramas without the subtitles. It's now been 2.5 years, and am I watching K-dramas without subtitles? No. But my listening comprehension has gotten better. I know I just said I need to work on it more, which I do, but it has gotten better as far as listening at the same time that they're talking and while reading the English subtitles, so I can understand what they're saying at the time that they're saying it, and I'm comparing it to the English subtitle or the English translation, which is nice because I can hear the words and I see the translation. I'm like, oh, that's how they translated it, interesting, okay. Or if they used a different word to technically translate it, I can kind of point out like, oh, well, they used this translation, but technically the word in Korean was blah blah blah. So that's nice. Like, I'm better at that. Also, the other day subtitles weren't working for whatever reason, and me and my sister, who's also been learning Korean with me, we were going back and forth, like trying to translate for my family who was watching the show with us, which, like, we got a little bit of it. We're like, okay, but there was that one word that we didn't know, so we couldn't get the context at all of the sentence. So we were like, well, they're saying this, but I don't know why they're saying it. Yeah. So that was a struggle just because of that one word, which there's a lot of vocab that I don't know still. So after watching K-dramas, I naturally got into Korean music. I was just trying to expose my ears to the Korean language so much that I just wanted to like dive right in and be immersed in the language. So I started listening to Korean music, whether that was K-pop, R&B, soft pop, whatever else genre is there, rap. But yeah, so I was listening to that, and even now, 2.5 years into my learning Korean language process, like I'll hear a song and the words finally click, and like I can understand the sentence, the lyrics, the line, the verse they just sang, and I could understand it, and I'm like, oh, that's what they said this whole time. Like, I'm like, oh, you know, been listening to the same song for like 3 years, and then now I'm just realizing like, oh, this is what they said. And it's that moment of like, oh my gosh, I understand it. If you had previously watched my Forestella video, concert and fan sign, which got like 5,000 views. In the video, I had stated that at the concert there was no English translation, as being that probably the demographic there was 80-90% Korean speaking people. So yeah, at the concert, I really had to put my listening and comprehension skills to the test, which I got by. Context clues and knowing basic, I was like, okay, I think I know what they're talking about. If the crowd laughed, I laughed with the crowd. Did I understand the joke? No. But you know, it's just about fitting in. But then also at the fan sign, like, I was nervous because I of course wanted to speak to them in Korean, but also just knowing like I don't have enough confidence in myself, I guess. How many helicopters? And so I don't have enough confidence in my speaking abilities yet, so going to the fan sign was a real big like step for me as far as speaking to these native Korean artists. So yeah, speaking to them, you know, I just said hello. I said like a few sentences to each. One member that I said on my last video that I just spoke all Korean with, like I came in saying hello to him in Korean. He asked me in Korean if I spoke Korean, and I said no, I'm not that good in Korean. But then he just continued talking, and then I just continued talking, and it was like a basic conversation. But I was surprised at on the spot how I was able to just continue, and I was so proud of myself in that moment. Just because like this is what I had done, you know, like I wanted to learn the language, obviously, to speak it. So here I was having a little tiny basic conversation with someone with a native Korean, and I was speaking to them in Korean. So that's my progress report. So as of right now, I am still learning Korean. People who know me now, like my everyday friends, is like, how is Korean going? And yeah, I'll just speak to them, say something random, you know, a little word that I learned in Korean, a little sentence, and they're like, not knowing what I said, but they're supportive, so that's nice. And like I said, I have my sisters that are learning with me. I have a few friends that are also learning with me. And then just like online communities. So another online community that I found was Inspire Me Korea. And through them, they have a shop with lots of different resources. One is this calligraphy book, which just kind of teaches you the different styles of writing, which I really like. And then next they sent me, along with the calligraphy book, was like language guide, little practices, front and back. I like these because it has the Korean word and then it has the romanization version, but I don't use these anymore because they confuse me. And then also it has a flashcard. So front, and then on the back it would tell you the word, what it is. Again, the romanized versions. Also on Hello Talk, I tried that. I really like to get the feedback. So I'll put like, you know, little voice messages of me speaking in Korean. And I'll get some responses and like feedback, which is really helpful. Also though, if you know Korean already, help me. I will gladly take the help. If you want to help me practice speaking, yes, I will take the help. So yeah, still waiting for the day that I can watch a full K-drama without subtitles. But for now, I'm not there, and that's okay. But I have made progress, and I'm proud of myself. The next question that I always get is, am I gonna go to Korea? I am going to South Korea in the summer, and I am so excited. I'm going with some friends, and but I'm excited to just be there to experience South Korea, the language, the culture, the food. Oh my gosh. Stay tuned. Subscribe to my channel because there will be some Korea vlogs. I cannot wait. There is a cat in my yard. That is not my cat. I don't know whose cat that was. I think Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I want to thank everyone who has already subscribed and has watched and shown so much love to my last video with Forestella. If you haven't watched it, go check it out. So like I said, I am planning a trip to South Korea this summer. So if you're interested in that and want videos on those, be sure to subscribe. Stay tuned. You guys can join me on that trip. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys have a great day. Until then, I'll see you in the next video.